All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The first game of the grand finals of the NASTL is about to start off. Let's go ahead and get into it. Liquid Hero against Mouz Morrow.
Really excited for this match. Okay. Morrow, a very famous ZVP player. He was actually, people don't say this as much, but they used to say he had the best ZVP in Europe. It was Ling Infestor based at a time when people just simply weren't doing that. He would drop banelings on mineral lines. He would hit these really crazy timings where he's dropping banelings on you while doing Ling Infestor. Sometimes just pure Ling. Now, of course, he's got his hands full. He's going up against Hero. If people used to say that Morrow is the best ZVP player, people are currently saying that Hero is one of, if not the best, PvZ player. He's absolutely all over the place. Yes, he's just got fantastic micro, amazing aggression. He's able to turtle with the best of them. It's just, I feel like if you're going to beat Hero, you actually have to outplay him because you will not outmaneuver him. You will not outthink him. It's going to have to come down to gameplay.
And it's crazy. There's so many Reddit threads about Hero and his PvZ and his multitasking. He has 4 attacks, 5 attacks going on at the same time while expanding, and it's actually insane.
And then you watch the stream and he's actually taking a drink the entire time.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense. I don't understand how he does it, but he does it. Hero makes it look so easy, and that's what's so cool. I mean, the best players always make it look so easy, but in this case, we are on tal'darim altar, which I think, Hero will love these positions, seeing as the natural, or more importantly, the gas of the natural and that bottom of the natural is so accessible via Colossus pushes.
I really like Morrow's opening. Let me tell you why. A very typical opening here would be spawning pool first, 3 hatchery, gasless expand. But in this case, he's getting gas. So for a Protoss player to look at this, he's going to say to himself, okay, I am extremely concerned with what could end up being a all-in cheese. I have to be watching for that. All-ins include like Ling Baneling, Hydralisk. We've seen Nidus Worm shenanigans, Fast Roach. I mean, it's everything at all. This map does allow for that. So Hero is going to have to be really diligent about his scouting. And that means when the speedlings pop out, they're going to have to be really active about denying that scouting, because if they do, they can incur extra costs on their Protoss opponent.
Absolutely, and hopefully he can get that done. We'll see if he actually continues mining gas. He has 2 of them right now, so the big thing is Hero sees this. And when you see this, you know your opponent is capable of doing some all-in. What does Morrow do? Does he keep it on? No, he does not. So most likely going to expand, and then directly after that maybe take another expansion over here. This is the more common, the 12 o'clock expansion, just because there is just huge destructible rock that is blocking out the regular third base.
Already a second probe out for Hero. This is why he's so good. You look at that first probe and you go, gosh, why did it die in the base? It was scouting till the absolute last possible moment to see if he pulls the drones off the gas, if he makes a roach horn, any of that kind of stuff. But now that second probe scouts the hatchery, so that's the beginnings of him thinking he's not getting all in. It's reasonable for him to assume the Lings are not inside the base. Pulls in, not mining gas. Doesn't get to the back of the mineral line, but of course he's able to count the gas on the geyser, but also just go ahead and see, I probably am not getting all in. And as long as he prevents a Ling run by, he should consider himself safe, which means of the 2 openings, Nexus first versus gas opening from the Zerg, I would love to be the Protoss. You're going to be way ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this. He's so safe with this. He's putting up a second cannon right here. He doesn't want to lose any shenanigans. Zerg can run by, things like that. And as soon as he gets out this Zealot, he should replace things out. Where does Hero go from this, though? There's been different trains of thought. Do you go for gateway pressure, or do you go for Stargate pressure, or straight up to robotics facility? I mean, if you're in Hero's position, what do you go, Jeff?
I personally like to walk Zealots off that original gateway and go ahead and have like 2 or 3 of them so I can secure a tower for myself. Zergs don't want to make 10, 20 Zerglings, so they're not going to be able to kill those Zealots. And I think that's what Hero's going to do from here. But from there, it's anybody's game. Like, you do see Stargate openings, so you could do 2 Void Rays or 1 Void Ray, then Phoenix, and just apply pressure on the 3rd, perhaps kill some Queens. Basically force extra Queens and Spore Crawlers, things that the Zerg would otherwise not like to make. Or you could go fast Robo. We see a lot of really 2-base Colossus pushes. We see Sentry Immortal pushes. Or the Robo can just actually be a fast Observer followed by standard Gateway Expand. There's all kinds of options. Here we're going to see that Stargate from Hero. And again, whether or not it's 2 Void Rays then Phoenix, or 2 Void Rays or 1 Void Ray then Phoenix, we'll have to wait and see. But they all kind of come with different variety.
Yeah, it's interesting. What he did show already is Warp Gate Tech and +1 is being researched. And I know Morrow for sure saw that with the Zergling on top. So I think Morrow is kind of assuming a little bit that he's up against some sort of gateway harass in this early game stage. Normally you do see that in current trend. I know Hero in particular loved that 4-gate pressure with a +1 timing. We don't see that coming out this time around on tal'darim Altar, but it's definitely within the range.
3rd cannon. Protoss has not been out on the map, cannot scout, so the 2nd and the 3rd cannon are 100% because he's facing a gas opening. If he faces a gasless opening, I can almost guarantee you those cannons do not get made that way. In fact, the 3rd cannon gets canceled because he goes to the tower and sees there's in fact nothing coming, and he's got a Void Ray on the way, so he's relatively safe. Now he does see this Overseer, which has him wondering a little bit, like, okay, you're at Lair Tech already. And actually the Zealot did scout the natural, but I'm watching Hero's perspective here, and he just now is looking to see what it is.
Now he should be a little suspicious at this point. It's like, hey, you have a lot of gas right here. What could you be possibly going? And I don't think Hero has scouted out a 3rd, but I don't know if you saw it, Jeff. Yeah.
Look where that spire is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hot, man.
Purdy.
No chance in heck you scout that. Now, when you pull into a Zerg base, which in this case he's not going to, so there's no hallucination, there's no observer. But if you see this, and right now there's a good chance Hero thinks he's on 2 base, it could be Ling Infestor. Dare I say, there's like a 50-50 split in terms of how common that is on this build, or on this map. But as it is, that meterless timing could be potentially dangerous. Now, Phoenix are coming out behind just the single Void Ray, if I'm not mistaken. And that means that Hero has the makings of the hard counter to what Morrow is doing.
Yeah. What would have been awesome, like super mind gamey, is he put 2 evolution chambers in the front.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be so sick. Obviously, don't actually
that's a really good idea, actually.
Make anything from the 2nd one. He's still getting the melee, but what you're showing is some sort of infestor play.
Look at him waiting on this larva, Gretorp. He's going to wait to make like 9 meters at the same time.
Yeah.
Or he's going to cancel out. I'm not sure, but he's definitely waiting. He has the supply. He has the money. There they go. So he wanted the Phoenix to come in, peruse the base, not see a Spire, and then he wants for all of a sudden a ton of meters to show up. But my problem with this is he's going up against Hero who's really smart. So he pulled in, and not only did he not see a Spire, he didn't see anything else. So what possibilities are there?
Yeah, it's kind of suspicious at this point. I would have actually loved him to put something like Infestation Pit to really sell it. Because right now, these meters pop up, it's like, what the heck? How are you actually capable of this? I didn't see a Spire come out at all.
How did you see me? Now the meters are showing up, 5 more in production. 3 Phoenix are out, a 4th one in queue. Or actually, excuse me, that's a 5th Phoenix, so there's a lot of Phoenix out here. And at this time, actually, Hero doesn't even need a 2nd starport. If you just continue to Chrono Boost off the single one, as long as you're building off a 4 or 5 Phoenix base, you should have more than enough. Now the big question here is, will Morrow continue with the Mutas? Because the whole idea behind the Phoenix is they have to get the jump on the Mutas. If the Mutas try to harass, they'll get shut down. Of course, this gets changed a little bit with that range upgrade change. I mean, if you add 2 range of these Phoenix, like 6 or 7 Phoenix hold off Infinity Mutas, so I don't know if we'll get to that point. Morrow is actually droning really hard behind this. I feel like he's going to tech switch.
And looks like a couple of Zerglings look to be sharking around here. Are they going to go for the sentry? There's plenty of energy. He's trying to bait the force field as best as possible. Taking out this one probe. Can he get it? No, he doesn't.
What an expensive probe for that Zerg player. Didn't kill it. It's at 2 health, and it allows for all those Lings to get trapped and killed. Now, where is Morrow going to go with this? He's making 2 hatcheries. So he is expanding again to the 12 o'clock to bank it for his 4th base, which is a great time, as the Protoss is just now setting up his 3rd.
Oh, baby.
So Morrow's
Fleet Beacon.
There's the Fleet Beacon. And he is making more meters. I don't like that choice.
You know, this is going to be the first time I actually get to see, potentially, that Phoenix upgrade in competitive play.
Well, I've been using it for a little while. I mean, not like actively.
Yeah.
And I can tell you it's fantastic. It absolutely is. It's like that +2 range is just insane. You should not get touched at all. But right now, I mean, I would feel pretty bad about Fleet Beacon. Like, maybe he just goes Mothership, because look, he's shutting down Mutas right and left. In fact, let's take a look at that Muta count. He's got 15 somewhere. Where are they? Oh, they were harassing that whole time. Not really doing much, though, actually. If I take a look at the bases look pretty intact. Intact, rather. Let's see, is that Fleet Beacon going to do the range? And sure enough, there it is. 2 range increase. Really severe.
What is it called now? It's called the Anion Pulse Crystals.
Yeah, of course. The Andean Pulse crystals.
All set.
You know about those crystals. Now the Mutas are showing up. One of the strangest things Hero could do is give away all these Phoenix. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Getting some harass in here.
He needs to be so careful. You know, using that Graviton Beam is very, very tricky sometimes because obviously it does lock your Phoenixes in place, so you don't want to be in a position where your Phoenixes are actually accelerating, and then the Mutas can kill a couple of those Phoenixes. Yes, Phoenixes do have acceleration, so it takes a little bit for them to get to their max speed. Not too much, but a little bit, so the Mutas can
What
pick
is
them
Morrow
up.
doing? He's very haphazardly throwing Mutas away, and Mutas are actually expensive. Also, Mutas are one of the units that enjoy a lot of benefits in large numbers. Yeah, look at this. Not even close. And those Mutas probably won't make it home. Like, there's not even a Spore Collar at the natural, so... Wait, here's the silly part about this upgrade, okay? You've shut down Mutas as hard as you possibly can, and you are never going to face more Mutas again. Like, the Zerg shouldn't make more Mutas.
Look at this beautiful kiting. It's just absolutely beautiful to see. Of course, Phoenixes with 6 range. It's
still going with more Phoenix. I guess he's going to say, you know what? All your drones belong to me. Your queens are in danger.
Yes.
And Morrow's got to take this serious. He needs to be making Spore Collars by like 2 or 3 per mineral line at this time, because there's indication that there's a severe investment in Phoenix. And that's the problem, though, is if you put all those Spore Collars down in mineral lines, what do they do for the rest of the game? But as it is, there's actually a big Protoss ground army amassing off of those 3 bases. Still no Robo, but that's not needed right now.
Look at all these drones dying over here. Let's go ahead and look at how many drones died so far. 27 drones dead. A staggering amount of drones to be killed so early in this game. Hero is on top of the ball. Now, here's the big problem. Yes, you invest and you're able to shut down Mutas very well, but Phoenixes lack that punch. They lack the punch in the army, so you're actually on gateway units for quite a long time, and it takes a while till you get to the High Templars, Archons, or Colossus, whatever it might be. So he does have to play pretty passive for this early game stage, or I should say early game, mid game stage. But you can see, I mean, Hero with his great decision making has already, I think, made the money back, and he will be fine.
Absolutely. He's doing a good job of, you know what, despite there being Spore Collars, I'll lose a Phoenix or 2. I don't care. As long as I keep you making drones and not units right now, I feel like I'm doing my job. And that's indicative of the supply. Look at here at 181 versus the sub 170 of the Zerg player. And what Morrow has to do is he's just playing catch-up all game long. Now look at the size of this army by Hero. No, there's not a lot of glitz or glamour to it, but look at this. The Phoenix can actually even remove units from the fray and allow them to get focused down, and that's the continual strength of the Phoenix. If Infestors were to come out, he would be able to pick up Infestors, remove them from the fight, but you know what? That's a big if, because I think Morrow's just dead.
Yeah, I don't know how Morrow actually deals with this now. Infestors are out on the field, so it might help out with this engagement, but the Force Shields will be able to segment off all those units, and now they have free
174
range.
over 66 supply. If you want to talk about supply caps, this is the motherload of supply caps. Yeah, this is bad. And Morrow's not looking too good in this game. Hero's going to take out the 4th base over here in the top middle position. In the meantime, you know, what can Morrow do but watch? F10.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go. He's absolutely dead. And the Phoenix did such a good job of not only shutting down the Mutas, but continuing to have that that added benefit of killing queens and drones. Yeah. I think a lot of Protoss players would make those Phoenix kill the Mutas, and then they'd be very idle with them. They'd be checking towers, looking for peripheral overlords. Hero takes it to that next step and is overly aggressive with them, which means, again, even if Morrow would have taken my advice and built the extra 6 or 7 Spore Crawlers, that is essentially killing 6 or 7 drones, because after you shut down the Phoenix harass, or at least slow it down in those bases, you still lost those drones, and those the Spore Crawlers don't help you against Stalkers or anything like that. So I think Hero played that game flawlessly. I think if we're going to be critical of Morrow, we'd go back to his decision. Okay, he's got 5 or 6 Phoenix. I'm still going to make the next round of like 10 or 15 Mutas, and then I'm going to throw them away, essentially, which is what happened.
Now, if Morrow, I think that would have been a lot different, because remember, there was a lot of preparation for those Mutas. If instead that was, instead of a Spire, if that was an infestation pit, think of how brutal that would have been with all those Phoenixes out in the field. All of a sudden, they come out fungal, and you just lost all your investment. I think that might have been, the much better way. Of course, there's no way that you can actually tell that's happening. It's very hard to. But nevertheless, congratulations to Hero. He's going to take the first game here at the NASL Grand Finals. We're going to go into game number 2 after this break, so don't go anywhere. We're going to have more action for you with Morrow and Hero.